of course, a strong message from government, especially when it comes to big gatherings.
Yeah, absolutely, Shahan, and it seems to affect each and every aspect of our lives. Government sending the clear message that we have to implement social distancing whenever possible. So let's focus on some of the aspects of our lives that are going to be affected by these new rules which came into effect yesterday. Shahan, first of all, let's take a look at treatment. This is a controversial one because we have had instances around the world where people have refused to be tested. They've refused to go into self-quarantine. Government now saying that you simply can't do that, Shahan. If you are a suspected case or you have a confirmed case of COVID-19, then you must accept that you will be subject to examination, you must accept treatment, and you must go into isolation or quarantine if you are instructed to do so. So that's very important. There is no getting around that. Let's focus quickly on fake news, because this is also a danger that government has identified, saying that anyone who creates or spreads fake news, Shahan, could be liable for prosecution, and that could come with a hefty penalty, a major fine, Shahan, or perhaps 6 months behind bars. So it seems government not messing around when it comes to the distribution of information. Of course, it has warned that that will come with serious consequences. But let's focus quickly on alcohol, because a lot of South Africans have been talking about this over the last few days. As you mentioned, no alcohol sold after 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday. So those restrictions applying from 6 p.m. to 9 a.m. the following day. And also no alcohol sold after 1 p.m. on a Sunday. So very important rules. I guess the idea here, Shahan, is to prevent any sort of large gatherings which tend to happen around alcohol. Let's also focus on restaurants. Becky Klele was speaking about that a little bit earlier, and these applying to restaurants which really are selling alcohol. No more than 50 people, Shahan. The Restaurant Association mentioned that could include the number of staff actually working at restaurants. So we're possibly looking at restaurants really not hosting many people at any given time. Also, no sales of alcohol after 6 o'clock Monday to Saturday, and then no alcohol after 1 p.m. on a Sunday. So clearly, Shahan, our social lives are going to be a little bit curtailed.
Yeah, definitely. Someone was joking, though, Mike, when they call last round, people are going to order 10 beers instead. So we'll see how that works. So let's talk about sporting activities. All of these restrictions are going to have an impact on that.
Absolutely, of course. Let's focus on gatherings. We have been talking about this for a while. Government saying that we can't have any large gatherings really beyond 100 people. And, of course, we did get news just a few minutes ago, Shahan, that the PSL has suspended any games indefinitely. There was talk that they might play behind closed doors. It seems that is unlikely to happen at the moment. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. For football fans, of course, that really is bad news. But let's focus on some other elements. The schools, of course, being an important area of focus. This came into effect earlier this week. Of course, schools have been closed until after Easter. That includes early childhood development centres, Shahan. And this is crucial. Government saying that it may extend the ban or the closure of schools if its measures don't yield a result. So we'll have to keep track of that one as well. Finally, Shahan, let's focus on prisons. You might think, what have prisons got to do with an outbreak of coronavirus? Well, this is important because a lot of people are all in one space when they are behind bars, so potentially a hotbed for disease and the spread of disease. Government now saying that it will ban any public visits for the next 30 days. That also applies to detention facilities and any holding cells. It's also saying that South Africans need to get on board because ultimately it's us, Shahan, who can prevent the spread of the virus.
Yeah, every person is responsible ultimately. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Michael Marilia.